Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is StepsBasic, and welcome back to my community show. This week it is, of course, time to be doing the stream of consciousness. But first, as always, announcements. So, tragedy has befallen the channel. When I started this channel years ago, I used to record using the share software on the PlayStation, and then I got something better. I got my Elgato capture card, the Elgato HD60, and thousands of videos later, hundreds of videos later, I think I can qualify it as thousands by now. How many videos do I have up on my channel? I'm terrible. It doesn't really matter. Thousands of videos, years of work. My capture card finally gave out on me. Yep, I went to start recording my my Warframe for the week, and it wasn't working. It just was lagging severely, and then when I tried to get it to work, it just wasn't loading at all. So there it is. Maybe I'll be able to get it to work, but maybe not. I'm actually looking at getting a new one. Unfortunately, I can't afford it until next month. So God of War, Warframe, Minecraft, they're all on hiatus until I get a new capture card for my PlayStation. Technically, I could still do Minecraft because I can do the PlayStation Remote app on my computer. So I can still do that, but the other ones, because of the way the remote app works, there's a bit of a delay, so the other games will be a bit more difficult to do. I actually might try that Monday. I might try to record God of War that way. We'll see how well it works. But apart from that, means I need to start another series earlier than I wanted to. I mean, technically I had to start one next week anyway, because we finished up Detroit. So I need to start a new series, but not with any of the games I plan to make. I have one in mind, though, and it's one I kind of been interested in for a little while. I don't know much about it, but it's got an interesting premise, and so I'm looking forward to it. Apart from that, on with today's idea for the stream of consciousness, rolling with the punches. Now, this is an interesting phrase, one that I've always kind of enjoyed, because it's got, I don't know, it's got a very distinct connotation, and obviously ties into fighting. You know, when you get hit, you want to roll with the punch so that it doesn't impact nearly as hard, implying, of course, you get punched, so you go into the punch to let it roll off you. Yeah, rolling with the punches, sort of thing. At least this is how I understand it. But it's more practical use is in the metaphorical sense of adapting to stuff that the world throws at you. I thought that this would be a perfect idea for a video this month because this has been a particularly trying year, just in general, between everything going on with YouTube, all the threats and stuff to my channel, that I was worried about losing my channel, losing both of my animals within the space of a couple of weeks. And it all started with a stupid truck. Now, technically, I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly when the truck issue started. But I co-signed on a loan with my brother-in-law so that he could get a truck that he would be able to pay for, and I wouldn't have to do anything with. But then things happened. He lost his job and all sorts of stuff. And then I eventually ended up getting stuck with a $1,200 bill that I couldn't pay. And that was not a fun thing. Truth be told, all honesty, all cards on the table here, it hit kind of hard. Because not only did I invest trust in my brother-in-law, giving him a big boost, a big help admittedly, a lot of the stuff that happened was not his fault, and I can't really hold him to account for that. But in the end, when everything was done, all the paperwork was filed and everything, and there was still $1,200 left, I should not have had to pay that. I should not have been faced with that bill, especially considering I can't afford that. Then to top it all off, after that was done, I got hit with another bill. But this one, another $1,200 bill, I might add. This one came from me in the past. And I'm going to give you a big old strong cautionary thing. Do not, I don't care. Just do not go for any magazine subscription service. If you want to read a magazine, subscribe specifically to that magazine through that magazine. I don't care if you see the idea of a bulk order of magazines to be alluring. Don't do it. They are a huge scam. And the worst part is, as far as I know, they're perfectly legal. But I have been dealing with magazine subscription issues basically since I became an adult, because I'm like, I want to get some stuff for my wife to read while I'm not home. She can read all the books and everything, but occasionally she might want more current event stuff. So I signed up for a magazine subscription service. Granted, this was more of a spur of the moment, hey, would you like to do this? I'm like, ideas, yes. And it sounded all good and well at the time until now, freaking 10 years later, 11 years later, I'm still facing the problems with that, because I tried so many times to cancel the subscriptions. And when I ran into some money troubles, I called them up. I told them, hey, I can't afford to pay. I just want to cancel it. Sorry, we can't do that, because the subscription has already been paid. You're just paying us back. That took me 3 times of calling them to find out. I called them. I'm like, hey, I can't afford to pay. I want to cancel. How about we just put you on a month hiatus, and we'll see where you are when we come back, and then we'll see about canceling it. A month later, hey, I just want to cancel my subscription. I see that you haven't been able to pay for the last month, so we're going to go ahead and put you again on one more hiatus, and when we come back, then we'll see. 3rd time I call, hey, I just want to cancel my subscription. We can't do that because you've already paid. Your subscriptions have already been paid. You're just paying us back. And I'm like, that's not how this is supposed to work. If I pay for a service monthly, it should be me paying for that service. And if I'm done with it, I cancel it. Suffice it to say, there's been a couple of times when I've let those go to collections, because that is the best way to get them off your back, unfortunately, because they will not work with you. You try to cancel your service, I say do not reinstate my subscriptions at the end of this thing. And they do it anyway, which I'm pretty sure that part is illegal. But I can't afford to pay for a lawyer. And this new one comes in, hey, I get a call from this new collection agency, and I'm like, I've been done with these guys. I let them both lapse, and I told them do not sign me up for any more. And it's funny because I don't know how it happened, but at one point I had 2 subscriptions to the same service, and I don't know how that happened. I had 2 accounts with the same subscription service, and it's like, geez. But then this one came in, and I'm like, I've been done with these guys for almost 2 years now. What is this? It's like, oh, well, back in blah, 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 you signed up for this sweepstakes, and it came with this blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, for Christ's sakes. The sad part is I don't even remember doing that. That was back in, I think she said 2016 when I did that. And I'm like, I don't remember doing that at all. So stay away from sweepstakes and stay away from magazine subscription services. There's no point in them. You're probably not going to win the sweepstakes, and then you're just going to get stuck with a $1,200 freaking bill later on down the line because you didn't know about the freaking thing, and so you just let it lapse, and then then, of course, I have to pay it, but I can't pay $1,200. So now I'm in the hole for $173 until February every month. I'm almost done with it. And that should be the last hidden magazine subscription service out there. America's Reader's Choice, United Eagle Reading Services. Stay away from all of them. I don't care how lucrative or how appealing it is. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you don't even need magazines anymore. Just go online if you want to read about something. There's plenty of free articles that you don't have to pay anything for. And, you know, you can get current events, you can get biking, motorcycle stuff, all that stuff online without worrying about any sort of magazine. They're pointless nowadays. They're redundant. And I think that's probably why they are so freaking pain in the butt, you know. They force you to get these magazines. Then, of course, we lost both of our pets. You know. That still hurts, you know. We made a very lovely gravestone for our cat, and my dog got a box, and he got cremated. My cat, she didn't get cremation, but she got a good grave, so that's good. And top it all off, we're still dealing with the flea problem because I can't afford to hire an exterminator to come out to the house. That'll be a next year problem, but next year's looking a bit better. You know, it's kind of funny, you know, sitting here and I think about all the fun stuff that's happened this year. Fun stuff. The ironic fun stuff. You know, I still remember my ex-wife moved out of town, moved up to frickin' Chesapeake at first, and then sadly she and her boyfriend split up right after she moved, so she got stuck on that side of the water. And now down here, you know, it makes our joint custody, it puts a bit more of a strain on that because now we have to drive over an hour sometimes, depending on traffic, to take the kiddo up there, and that puts a bigger strain on the not only our friendship but the joint custody issue, because, you know, if you have an appointment that may intersect with picking her up or dropping her off, then we can't do it because now or we can't do the drop off because there's no way we can make it down here in time, especially around the time school gets out, because that's right around frickin' rush hour. I remember too, you know, way back early part of the year, freaking 3 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call. Hey, can you come pick us up? And they're all drunk. So I'm like, all right, cool. I got you. I know, it's funny, you know. That's me. I do good things for people. Generally, never thought for myself. That's freaking early, though. That's early for even anybody. Yeah. That was before she and her boyfriend broke up. So it's kind of fun, though. It kind of took me back to when I was in the military and wrangling drunk people. It was always no, I shouldn't say always a fun thing, because sometimes it was just tragic and other times it was dangerous. But sometimes you'd get those moments when it was just funny. Fast forward to last month, and I swore up and down I just lost my battery in my car because it died and I couldn't get any juice flowing. And I was freaking out because I drive a hybrid and their batteries are freaking expensive. Like, we're talking $1,000 to $1,500 to get a new battery for it. And I'm like, there goes Christmas, I guess. Luckily, though, I was able to get a jump and get it to work. That was a trial in and of itself. I took my brother to his appointment to meet with his psychologist there, and I sat in the parking lot because this was one of the times when he was just, it was a medication thing. So they were basically talking about, balancing their medicines, balancing his medicine. And so it's only going to be a little bit. And I drop him off. I went to the lake at the hospital, sat down for a little bit, went back to the car, turned the radio on, sat there for a little bit, and that killed the battery. And I was like, God dang it. And blessed I am with the friends that I have. I called my buddy, and he came out, picked up my brother, took my brother home. I sat there for about 2 hours waiting for the tow truck. The tow truck finally shows up, and he's like, "Yeah, I can't jumpstart your car. You can't jump a hybrid." And he calls his boss up, and he's like, "Hey, how do you jump a hybrid?" And he's like, "You can't jump a hybrid." Okay. And it's like, "Well, I can't pull you out of there either because, rolling the wheels and whatnot, that's how you charge a hybrid's engine. And we don't want to overcharge it and blow something." And I'm like, "Is there anything you can do?" He's like, No, you should just call up your insurance company, have them send somebody else out." And I'm like, "Okay." So I called up my insurance company. This one was great, though. They told me, "Okay, we'll have another guy out to you in about half an hour." As soon as I hung up with the lady at the insurance company, got a call from the tow truck driver being like, "Hey, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Boom. It wasn't even 10 minutes later he was pulling up. And he got it up on the truck, and I'm like, "Sweet." I asked him, "Do you know how to jump a hybrid?" He's like, "No, sorry, I don't." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so I'm starting to believe the first guy, he can't jump a hybrid. But I got home and I looked it up. YouTube. Looked it up on YouTube, and it was a very easy step-by-step way to do it. And the only difference between jumping a hybrid and jumping a regular car is you don't attach it to the battery. You attach it to a connection in the fuse box in the engine area. So I was like, okay, I know how to do this. So I called up my friend, and he was going to come out and give me a jump, but then he ran out of time and had to go off to work. I asked my neighbor, and my neighbor was like, "No, I don't jump people's cars because I don't want to get left, with a dead battery." And I'm like, "All right, fair enough." But then they're like, "Just call your insurance company." I'm like, "What?" So this time I specifically asked for a jump. And they sent Papa-Lock out, and the lady who showed up, I swear, I don't want to sound condescending, but do you know how to jump a hybrid? And she's like, "I do." And I'm like, "Oh, thank God," because the last two didn't. The first guy didn't even believe it was possible. But, it was a little touch and go there, but eventually the engine kicked in, and it was like, yes, she lives. That's just been this year, There's been a few other things, minor things or personal things that I just kind of avoid talking about. But the whole point of rolling with the punches is that idea of you're going to get hit no matter what. And you just got to learn how to deal with it. Because sometimes it's just so much easier to just get hit, take the hit, get damaged, fall down. But giving up, saying the world is against me, saying I can't do anything about it, that's just failure talking. That's just cop-outs. And I've had people in my life tell me that they are very in awe of the way I react to the world. And to be perfectly honest, it's because of the fact that I had to learn early how to roll with the punches. I had to learn what that life was worth going on, and that from every failure, from everything that falls apart, there is a learning experience. You have the opportunity to learn. And to just give up, to just take the hit and act like it's just the end of the world, or that is no longer an option, then there's just no reason to. I mean, I have a very negative outlook on life. I'm very pessimistic, almost to the point of nihilism. But at the same time, I know what parts of the world I can control, namely my own life. And if something happens and I don't learn from it, I know it's just going to hurt me. So what I need to do is take every instance when bad things have happened and learn something from it. For instance, my capture card broke. I look to get a new one. I find out that not only are the internal ones a little bit better, but they can connect external games to them, like the PlayStation can connect to it. That was something I didn't know before, but now I do. And now I'm looking at getting an internal internal capture card, and I'm hoping that it works fine. Because I definitely can't afford another one. You learn who your friends are. You learn how to move past things. Like I learned now, I know how to jump my car if I need to. I now know that I can just ask my insurance company to send out a pop-a-lock, and they'll come and jump my car for me. Things you learn. That's something I never would have learned if it wasn't a hybrid, because I never had to call my insurance company for a jump before, because I know how to jump a regular car. I just didn't know how to jump a hybrid. I learned never trust, never use magazine subscription services. Yes, I have to take this one on the chin because, well, money is money and people are greedy like that. But now I know not to do anything regarding magazine services anymore, and I'm passing that knowledge on to anyone who will listen. I know that I'm a good friend. I learned that people know that they can rely on me, because nobody's going to call me at 2 a.m. if they don't think if they don't think I'm reliable. Unfortunate part is not everything has a lesson in it. Some things are just pain. Losing my animals the way I did was just still recovering. And now we're moving into December, almost to Christmas time now. And I'm glad the year's over. Life is moving too fast these days, but this is one year I'm glad to leave behind me. I'm honestly looking forward to 2020. If for no other reason than it's an even number, very balanced, as all things should be. But the whole point of this was that no matter how rough things are, no matter how hard life is, learn to roll with the punches. Learn what's important, and learn from everything. Because the day you stop learning is the day you die. Good night.